What's up, guys? This is Heroic Brutality on my healer April Slaughter, and there's a couple of things that I really kind of want to talk about. I'm gonna have a little discussion. First is the PvP, and the second is new powers. Everybody wants PvP fixed. That's, I think, almost a community-wide debate and gripe that the PvP in this game is just horrifying. There's no reason for it. The developers know what everybody wants, yet they won't do what everybody wants. They use this stupid base stat gear that's just freaking useless, and it's just it makes certain powers unplayable. It makes others overpowered, and it needs to stop. And we need the role-specific gear back. That was one of the worst moves I think DC has ever made, was getting rid of the role-specific gears. I mean, even if they would bring back the RPS system, it would help. But bring back the role-specific gear. I mean, it's still a mission, if you want to think of it that way. You still need your roles. And it's pathetic that they're doing this, and they have done this long and are still not even doing jack shit about it. I mean, they released a new set of PvP gear, a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever it was. They should have made it role specific back then, but they never did. I also believe when you're in open world in the PvP phase, I believe your PvE gear should be completely disabled and your stats completely removed from it. So basically, you're just left with the stats from your skill points. So, just basically, you would be a sitting duck to somebody out there that's in PvP gear. That should be the way it should be. That should have been the way it should have always been. But, you know, early on, the PvP gear was stronger than the PvE gear. And as we've leveled up and got higher gear and higher gear and higher gear, now I've got my CR with my main character is 172 or 173, something like that, and I got 192 skill points, and I have about 7,000, 8,000 more health than my fully geared PvP gear. And that is, I mean, it's like his health is like 99, 98 something. In my PvE gear, the health on is like almost 17,000. So, you know, disable that BS in open world PvP. It's PvP for a reason, not PvE fighting people. Whenever you're fighting other players, you should be in the PvP gear. That's what it should have been, what it was put in the game for. I doubt it was, but it should have been. Also, you know, I am absolutely tired of running into people who... What the frick is going on with my phone? Huh. Well, I'll be damned. Anyway, I believe that it kind of is frustrating going into PvP matches in arenas and going up against somebody who kind of like cheeses their role, most notably Atomic. Like I have fought a lot of Atomic people, and every one of them is convinced they have to come at you in tank stance. I have never fought an Atomic DPS in PvP ever. And I mean, it's not like they beat you. You just can't pin. I mean, some people could. Those guys that have the 300 and some odd skill points, I'm sure they have no problem, or they could probably, spec in such a way where their health is astronomically high and they're just as hard to kill for them. But I mean, whenever they are coming at you on a crutch, it makes it frustrating because they're just pretty much saying, I have no skill, so I am going to lean on this because I know you cannot statistically beat me playing this way. And I think those people that play that way are cowards. And if they would come at me in DPS stance and kick my ass, then that would be perfectly fine. But don't hide behind a role, because you're too chicken shit to come at me as a DPS without being able to heal yourself back for all that amount of the damage that you end up taking. Fight like a freaking man. You lose, you lose. It's a game. You can queue up again, and so that's why I believe there should be a DPS role lock in 1v1 arenas. I think it would even up the playing field. It wouldn't allow people to hide behind their crutches. And then, I think it would just be a lot better. It's really just so freaking aggravating when people do that. That's why I really don't even like PvPing anymore, because of the fact that people do that. They hide behind their crutch. When I go into PvP, I go in as a DPS. And I don't know. If they're going to allow it, then they need to allow the role debuffs. Then they need to come back. So if someone's coming at me as a tank, then I can hit a debuff on them and tear them down just like a healer used to be able to back in the early days of the DC PvP era. So I think that's pretty much it on the PvP. I'd like to see the role gear come back, and I think if they would bring it back in the RPS system, it would bring people back. People that hadn't played the game in years, that were old PvPers, may, if they got a PS4 or a PC, whatever, they may fire it back up, download the game, and give it a try, just to see if that old nostalgic feeling is coming back. And, I think it would definitely help. I mean, yes, there would still be OP powers. Back in the day, I remember electricity. You would, the idealistic setup would be usually a sorcery and an electric healer, because electricity just had crazy burst heals, and it was a frustrating pain in the ass to fight an electric healer back then, or fight a group that had an electric healer. And I would take that kind of frustration back over this crap that we have nowadays, that it was just so much better back then. I would take every match being a tied 0-0, full 15-minute matches that involved skill and teamwork, than whatever BS that we have today. So that's my I want that back. Why can't DC just give us this back? And also, you know, the roll locks and DPS. You're fighting 1v1, fight as a DPS. It's not that friggin' hard. Also, the open world PvE gear disabling and stat debuff, I guess, for your PvPE gear. And yeah, I covered that as well. And the next thing I want to talk about is the new powers. Now, I haven't heard anything. I don't know what kind of new powers we would be getting, if there's even any kind of discussion going on. It's been close to a year for water, maybe even a year. I really can't remember. But the three things I would like to see is, one, obviously Blue Lantern. I think a Blue Lantern healing, and I think it would probably, I don't know, Star Sapphires or somebody else for the villains, because Blue Lanterns are not bad. So it would kind of be silly for Blue Lanterns to also be the counter villain role for that. So, you know, I would like because I'd say it'd have to be the Star Sapphires. I was going to say the Orange Lanterns, but healing would involve giving something, and if anything, the Orange Lanterns would try to be taking it away. So the Star Sapphires would probably make the most sense for the villains. I would like to see an advanced technology power. I'm talking about a power based around Lex Luthor, with maybe powers that connected parts of suits to you, or you had like a gun or a laser strapped to your back, or maybe your arms, or you took some kind of little device and threw it up in the air, and every time, you know, you could do something and it would like activate other things, where it could like shoot rockets and like have like an AoE where it kind of like score, I don't know, something along that line, something original, something interesting like that. Think of something, all the crazy shit that you've seen Iron Man and War Machine do in the Marvel movies or in the comics, and pretty much just design it after that, because I guarantee you'd probably make a lot of people happy. And I would love to see weapon powers in the weapons trees. Now, I'm not talking about weapon mastery. That is taking your weapon and using it and going into another weapon combo. I'm talking, let's think of Green Arrow as a perfect example. He has a quiver full of trick arrows. Arrows that can electrify, burn, freeze, concussed. Say you're brawling. Say you could do something where you could grab somebody and punch them. And, I mean, or you could all of a sudden rear back and like throw one hell of a haymaker and it do, you know, some pretty good damage where you're like super strong. Or maybe your shield can, you know, do some crazy things. People, I guarantee you, would go full on Captain America with that kind of crap. Or maybe with martial arts you could speed it up to where it was whenever it first came out. You know, just some things that I think would give people a more of a truly customized character build whenever we are these characters. You could be a power and run a weapon power. So you could still play your main role. Your weapon powers could be your DPS, because I really only see them being a viable DPS rotation or loadout. But, you know, I would really like to see something like that happen. I think it would make more people play their weapons because they actually done something other than weapon mastery, which just doesn't hit like it used to. I've thrown a whole bunch of skill points into precision, and the weapon mastery just does not hit. I have tried to use it and it's not good. I can't DPS like that. So the advanced technology, they could go full on crazy. You know, there could be like stuns galore. It could be, I could see both healing or tank. Like, you know, they could go with like nanotechnology, or, you know, where it like it attached to some people and heal them up, like repair their wounds. Or you could like create like an AoE group shield where you can attack out of the shield, but the enemies couldn't attack in or get in. You know, that would be an OP power. But I mean, I would like to see something like that, because gadgets is just like small arms and bombs. Munitions is pretty much guns and a few bombs. I mean, with the advanced technology, you would have lasers, and you could have kinds of shields and nanotechnology and satellites and more rockets and stuff that go boom, and there would just be so much. Think of like Lex Luthor with this. Like I said, you know, they could base it on him. And, you know, everybody wants a Blue Lantern. And then the weapon powers would be freaking sweet. So, I think that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Because I've never even seen or heard anybody talk about this. I've just seen the immense amount of yelling for a Blue Lantern power. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think. Like the video, dislike it. Tell me why. Let's have a little discussion in the comments, and try to help make this game better, because it is a fun game. And I don't want to see the game die because a lack of interest on the developers' parts. If they don't want to do it anymore, I'm sure there are developers out there who could take the game and make it twice as good, and may even listen to their fans a little bit and the players. So this has been Heroic Brutality, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.